If you treat these markets like a casino, the markets will treat you like a gambler. And remember, the house always wins. It's Friday, April 22nd, 2022. We have a lot to talk about today. Let's just get right into it. An absolute bloodbath on Wall Street today. Dow Jones down nearly 1,000 points. That's 2.82%. S&P was down 121. That's 2.72%. NASDAQ was down 335 points. That's a loss of 2.55%. And the Russell down 50 points, a loss of 2.55%. An absolute bloodbath on Wall Street today. And no doubt, we are beginning to see serious warning signs. We are beginning to see the dam crack. The Dow Jones year to date is down 7.58%. The NASDAQ year to date is down 8.40%. The S&P year to date is down about 10%. Gold, on the other hand, which, people just want to continue to call a barbarous relic and make fun of and say it has no value. But even though it's been hammered the last couple days, it is up year to date 6.69%, while central banks across the globe, nations across the globe, continue to stockpile it. So, I know people used to always say, oh, year to date, the market's outperforming gold. This is outperforming gold. That's outperforming gold. I believe there's never been a time in history where it is more important to own a safe haven asset such as gold. I believe silver will come along for the ride, but there's just, to me, a lot more volatility with silver, but it is coming along for the ride. But gold has been steady. Even though it's been hammered the last couple days, it is up 6.69% year to date with all this turmoil. And I believe that it is being very, very suppressed. It is going to have its day. When gold breaks out, we are going to be living in a totally different world. And there is going to come a time where they are not going to be able to control what gold does, because we are witnessing right now what nations are doing. They are stockpiling it, central banks stockpiling it. They know that we are heading into a new time, a new world, and gold is going to play a very valuable role in it, because so many governments and countries are sick of all the money printing and the control of the US dollar, the world reserve currency. And they know, and this is why China has over 20,000 tons of gold. Russia has over 12,000 tons of gold, and many other numerous countries stockpiling gold. Why are they doing this? Why are central banks stockpiling gold? Because they're hedging their bets. They know that a massive debt tsunami is coming. Fiat currencies are going to be in big trouble. We're going to witness the collapse of currencies, I believe, globally. And the US dollar is going to be one of them. But in the meantime, I do believe it's important to have dollars. The dollar, I believe, will be one of the last ones to fall. And I believe it's important to still have dollars. But I think it's even more important to have ounces. Ounces of gold, ounces of silver. And I'm going to continue buying. And when we see a pullback like we've seen today in gold and silver, I think it's a great time to back up the truck and buy some of this stuff. People continue to ask me where I buy from. SD Bullion. I have a link down below. If you don't have a reputable place to buy, if you don't know where to buy some ounces of gold or silver, go to my link down below, SD Bullion. I don't care if you buy it. I don't care if you don't buy it. There's a bunch of other places you can buy online. You can go to your local pawn shop. You can go to your coin shop. You can go online and buy from numerous other online dealers. Just buy from somebody reputable. So again, I'm not here to tell you to buy gold and silver or not to buy gold and silver. I think you need to have real safe haven assets, things that you can get to, things that you can hold, touch, things that will never be worth zero. That's how I think. That's what I'm doing. That's what my friends are doing. Do what you feel comfortable with. This is not financial advice. This is me just thinking out loud. But when I see markets rock today like they are, I feel very, very comfortable, and I feel good that I have gold, that I have silver, and I sleep well at night knowing that I have these safe haven assets that I think are on sale right now. They are absolutely on sale. So make sure you're protecting yourself with food, with water, with security, with gold, with silver, with barterable items and everything across the board. Make sure you are preparing. But getting back to these markets today, they do not like the fact that the Federal Reserve is raising rates. 50 basis points in May, that looks pretty solid. And now they are talking about 75 basis points in June. And I was watching Fox Business today, and they said they had a percentage up there, 94% from a survey that they took, a 94% chance that June we're going to see a 75 basis point rate hike. Now, I was reading an article in The Hedge today. They said 35%. So let's just say it's somewhere in the middle. It's going to be maybe 50, 60% right now that we're going to see a 75 basis rate hike in June. If it's not, it'll probably be 50 basis points. Can these markets handle it? But the addict, the stock market, does not like that the medicine or the drug is being taken away. So we're looking at, I believe, a total of 7 rate hikes for 2022 and a couple more in 2023. The addict does not like the drugs being taken away. These markets will no longer have a crutch. Now, getting back to what happened today, Dow Jones down nearly 1,000 points. Markets across the board absolutely rocked. And Loretta Mester, the Fed president of the Federal Reserve Bank in Cleveland, Ohio, she came out. She tried to cool these markets down today. She said that she didn't think it was necessary to raise the June rate 75 basis points. She didn't think it was necessary, and immediately markets began to cool down. Dow Jones was down about 900 points at that point, maybe 890, 880, about 900. They got the market up. It was only down about 596 points after she said that. It was really trying to come back, but it did not last because, again, they know that the Fed is not going to reverse course. Rate hikes are coming in May and June throughout the summer. We're going to have 7 total rate hikes this year. And the markets are beginning to fear this. And there are people still out there that don't believe that this is going to happen. Bank stocks today were absolutely crushed. And you have to ask yourself, how safe are these banks? If you watched my last video, went to my bank the other day and doors were locked. And looking at bank stocks today, they were just absolutely hammered. Absolutely hammered. Same thing with the home builder stocks. Absolutely hammered. But a lot of people, or maybe I should say gamblers who are in these markets, are still in denial that rate hikes are coming. I don't even know if they realize we already had one at 25 basis points, but they don't believe anything's going to happen in May or June. And if something does happen, that the Fed will just reverse course. I don't think that's going to happen. And I watch a lot of these shows and I read the comments, and a lot of people will go back to the last time when Jerome Powell began to raise rates and he had a reverse course and bring us back to zero. But we have to remember when he did that, inflation was around 2%. Inflation now is 8.5%, 8.5% and climbing. That's the difference. That's why they cannot reverse course. We don't have 1.5% or 2% inflation. We have 8.5% inflation and climbing. And if you live in the real world, you know that inflation is over 17% right now. And I know people will comment down below and tell me it's 20, 30%. And you have a valid argument there because when you go to the store, when you go to the grocery store, you look at oil prices and gas and whatnot, there's no doubt. I mean, if you're in any type of business and you need certain types of parts or material, 20, 30, 40, 50% increases in parts and certain commodities and food, and it's incredible. So depending on where you live and what you do, you're seeing inflation way beyond 17%. I went to my butcher yesterday, and personally, I try to eat the best meat I can get. No drugs, no hormones, free range, and you pay a price for it. And I'm going to tell you, I'm getting priced out here. Porterhouse steak yesterday, $29.99. $29.99. That was the price for a porterhouse yesterday per pound. And there's just no way I can even do that. It's ridiculous. $30 a pound for all natural porterhouse. Incredible. But getting back to these people who believe that there is going to be no rate hikes, you are sadly mistaken. And I really, truly believe, and comment down below, there is going to be no reversal. Not going to happen. This is not 1.5% inflation or 2% inflation. This is 8.5%, 17%, 20%. There's no going back. These markets are a dead man walking. The housing market is a dead man walking. Things are about to get real, ladies and gentlemen, real. And I hope that you're getting prepared. And sad but true, millions of people, it's already too late. They did not prepare. They did not start preparing. They're completely broke now. They have no other options. They're living on payday loans. They're living off credit cards now. They don't stand a chance. They're in big trouble. If you have income, if you're out there getting a side hustle, if you're out there working 3 jobs, God bless you. Make sure you're saving some cash. Make sure you're buying food. You're buying some bottled water, preparations, emergency gear, trauma kit, tourniquet, working on security, barterable items. Get yourself some silver, get yourself some gold. Get whatever you can get while you can get it. Prices are only going up. 74% of people do not think they will ever achieve high net worth status, survey finds this on CNBC today. They interviewed 2,209 adults and asked them what they considered high net worth. The median average among all responses was $400,000. Right now, over 3 million people over the age of 60 still owe student loan debt. Most people probably will never have a net worth. In fact, most people will probably have a negative net worth. When you look at the mortgage debt that they have, the college tuition debt, the auto debt, the credit card debt, the massive household debt that people have right now, it goes on and on and on. More and more people are going to be lucky if they have any type of net worth. Most people, if they died tomorrow, would have a negative net worth. And these are the people who are going to be in very, very big trouble. You know, people who didn't believe this stuff a year or 2 years ago, even 3 years ago, that the party was never going to stop, the music was never going to stop, these people are starting to go into panic mode. You've been out there and you see the demeanor of people. They're aggressive. A lot of people are very depressed. This is why so many people are turning to drugs and alcohol, suicide, spousal abuse. And we're going to see more of it. And people are just really, a lot of people are really getting into panic mode, angry, and it's going to get much, much worse. And this is why if you're preparing right now and you have everything you need, you got your food, you got your water, you can hunker down. You don't need to go out there and deal with the chaos, because that's what's coming. When people get hungry, things are really, really going to change here, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what I'm very, very concerned about. They're tolerating things right now because they have 12 credit cards. But when those get tapped out, or when those credit limits get chopped, they're going to be in big trouble. And so don't be one of these people. And so many people, as I said earlier, didn't want to stop the music. They didn't want to stop the party. They didn't want to get out of the matrix. And now they're beginning to see things unravel. And we talked about people coming to your house, knocking at your door for financial help, for food, for assistance, maybe for security, what have you. we've got, there's going to be some real crossroads we're all going to be challenged with down the road here, because we had family members and friends and neighbors who just thought we were out of our minds saying that this could happen. How anybody could not see what was coming, I have no idea. To watch this housing bubble on steroids take place, the stock market on steroids, the bond market on steroids, people spending with absolutely no control, just reckless. How in the world did nobody not see what was coming? Today, Dow Jones down almost 1,000 points. It's nothing. Wait till you start seeing 2,000, 3,000 points in a day when they have to shut the market down. It's going to be getting very ugly, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens on Monday. What is this all going to look like in May and June if we have another 1.25% raise in interest rates? What is this all going to look like? And remember, this isn't going to really affect inflation, because inflation is way above the interest rate. But what it is going to do, it's going to affect debt. It's going to affect you borrowing money. It's going to affect people using credit cards. It's going to have a massive effect on the housing market. But it's not going to have a very big effect on inflation. That's only if they get real aggressive. U.S. service sector slows in April amid record costs. Service sector firms registered the fastest rise in cost burden since October of 2009. King World News. Turn out the lights, the party is over. Just to paraphrase through this article, and if you get a chance, check it out. It just made some really, really good points here of why the party is over and why we're going to see more days on Wall Street like we saw today. Wages are down 4%. We have extreme valuations. Oil, 70% above trend. Plunging consumer confidence. Inverted yield curve. Fed hiking into a slowdown. That's a big one. The Fed is going to be why wasn't the Fed hiking 10 years ago, 7 years ago, 5 years ago? Why did they wait so long? They are going to raise rates, and it has to be done, ladies and gentlemen. And it should have been done years ago, but it has to be done, but they're going to do it at the worst possible time. And I don't think they have any other choice but to move forward. If they reverse course, it's going to be a disaster. And look, we're going to be heading into a massive depression, but if they reverse course, you can kiss the world reserve currency goodbye. You're going to see what hyperinflation is. Not inflation, not soaring inflation. You will witness hyperinflation. You will see so many dollars coming back to the US. You will see people literally lighting fires to keep warm using dollar bills. That's what would happen. Home builder stocks today. I went back and looked at some of these. Year to date, it's a complete bloodbath. This housing market is a ticking time bomb. D.R. Horton, year to date, down 32%. Lennar, down 31%. KB Homes, down 25%. Pulte Homes, down 25%. Wait till things really begin to slow down. These home builders, they're going to be absolutely decimated. Absolutely decimated. I get no pleasure in bringing this type of news to you. But if you are not protecting yourself, looking out for your family, taking care of yourself financially, you are going to be absolutely victimized here by what is happening. It's already started, ladies and gentlemen. The wheels are in motion. The car has flown off the cliff, okay? It is free falling. This thing is going to hit ground zero, and the pieces are going to be everywhere. And people are going to wake up one day and go, what happened? What do I do? What do I do? They're going to have no money, no assets, no skill set, no plan. So I'm proud of everybody out there who has made the sacrifices, who has had to cut things, and even people out of their lives. You got to get the toxic people out of your lives. You got to cut things out of your lives that are just draining you financially. People who are draining your energy. Surround yourself with good people. people that can bring skill sets, who can help you in areas that you may be weak in. Nobody, look, there are areas that I'm very weak in, but I have people that are very good in those areas. And when there is going to be, no type of individual who can get through this by themselves. You need to have a solid group of people around you that knows how to do things, who bring things to the table. There's just too many people out there. You may be really great at playing video games, and that's wonderful, but that's not going to be a skill you're going to need for what's coming. There's just people out there that know how to shop and run up credit cards and spend money. That's not a skill set that's going to help me. Surround yourself with people that know how to really do things, that have real skills, that if the lights go out, if the grid goes down, if the bank's locked down, that you got yourself real people surrounding you at the table. TheEconomicCollapse.com, food production is going to be substantially lower than anticipated all over the globe in 2022. The International Rice Research Institute predicts yields could drop 10% in the next season, translating to a loss of 36 million tons of rice, or the equivalent of feeding 500 million people. Now, you may not eat a lot of rice, but there are a lot of people in the world that eat a lot of rice, especially in Asia. 500 million people could be affected by this. Ukraine and Russia export 30% of world wheat production, 65% of sunflowers. We're going to see big shortages. And we always hear about, droughts or floods, weather conditions. What if we have another really dry summer here in the U.S.? Look, I can't tell anybody what to do. But I don't, at this point, even think this is speculation. This is happening right now. Take a look at our manufacturing, take a look at our debt, take a look at the physical condition of people in this country, the obesity epidemic, the drug epidemic. How many people are on pharmaceuticals? We're headed into real big trouble, and people are not prepared. We are certainly not our grandparents. I'm not. I'm much softer than my grandparents, but I can tell you that I still try to work out. I exercise my mind. I'm out there working on certain skill sets. I've put food and water away. I have training, and I've put assets away, cash away, medical gear put away for the worst case scenarios. And I still feel like I'm not really prepared, but there's something we can always do every day, or a little something every week we can do, and we need to be productive in doing that, because time is not our friend. And I truly believe time is running out, and that doesn't mean that this whole thing is going to implode next week. And let me be clear one thing: the world is not coming to an end. Okay, a lot of people just think like, oh, the world's going to come to an end and it's over. No, it's not. It's going to change, and if you're not able to change with it, you're going to be left behind. And we're going to see a lot of people who are going to be living in poverty, who at one time were driving a BMW or a Lexus. We're going to see people living on the streets who had nice cars and nice houses. It's going to be a new world. And if you just want to play video games, if you just want to believe that the banking system is safe and sound, if you believe that the US dollar is going to be here forever, I wish you the best of luck. I disagree. I believe that the fiat system is going to change. In fact, I think that we're going to see most currencies, if not all paper currencies, collapse. And this is what I think is going to bring in a new type of money, backed by, at least partially backed by, gold. I think the world is so sick that we took the world off the gold standard, that the world wants some sort of gold standard back. Whether that's digital, whether that's a new currency, I don't know. But I know that the world's not going to come to an end. But a lot of people's world is going to come to an end, because their standard of living is going to fall off of a cliff. Their credit cards are going to be done. The days of living on plastic and living beyond your means, it's all going to come to an end. This system is going to change, and it's going to be very, very violent when it does. People are not going to know what hit them. Anybody carrying a lot of debt right now, you are potentially at risk. And as I leave you today, here's a bit of advice for everybody. Get rid of debt. Pay off your debt. Get out of debt now. Do not be a debt slave. And if you can't pay it off, get the debt at least manageable. You are heading into a nightmare scenario if you're holding a lot of debt right now. And there are people right now that are accumulating debt right now as we head into a depression. About the dumbest thing I think you could do. Get out of debt, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a killer. It is going to be a killer. People, if you think you're going to be forgiven because there's going to be some kind of reset and that they're going to forgive you, you're literally out of your minds. I would be more worried that they're going to come after you for more. Beware of your bank accounts, ladies and gentlemen. Beware of bail-ins. These banks are not as safe as you think. And if these banks really had your best interests at heart, they wouldn't be charging you 24.9% interest on your credit card. And it's going to go up. Stay safe. God bless all of you. Have a phenomenal weekend. Take this weekend to prepare a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. Time is not your friend. Get ready. It's going to be a very, very bumpy ride ahead. I cannot believe what we are witnessing take place, and yet people don't believe it. Be safe.